This week on the Everyman Podcast, we have a really special guest. He's a good friend of mine, real tightly wound into my life in a lot of different ways. And you may know him as the guitarist for the Grammy-nominated Between the Buried and Me. Ladies and gentlemen, Dustie Waring. Dusty, what's up, my brother?
Money.
It's good to have you here, man. Last time we had you on the Everyman Podcast, it was last summer, and you guys were on tour at Reverb up in Reading, Pennsylvania. It was a Sunday. We went out. We had some wings.
Got had a good show.
It was a great show. Great wings. Great show.
Yeah,
and great time. And we had a great podcast. And on that episode, it was yourself and Blake together. We talked a lot about Between the Buried and Me, and we took some questions from the fans. And if you guys are listening to this, for the first time, check out those other episodes. And today we're going to talk a little bit about BT Band, but we're also going to talk more about you. So right off the bat, man, you guys just came off like an incredibly successful weekend of Twitch shows, and it was big news. You guys promoted it for a few weeks. And, in the Everyman, we have a Twitch channel. We're really into it. First of all, congratulations on the excellent launch on that, man. Really, I was just
thanks, man.
Thrilled to watch that and see how many.
I don't know much about Twitch. Like Blake's like the Twitch guy. So I didn't know what to expect. I thought we'd have like a few hundred people watching, and it ended up being like a ton of people.
Yeah. It was the number one. It was the number one music all weekend on Twitch, and even the replays. It was wild, and like watching the chat go, and just I know like it's people from all over the world, and just everybody was into it, and you guys were great. So tell us, man, what how did that all come together? Whose idea was it, and how did it all come together? How did that come out?
What's funny is we've been joking around about this idea since we were writing Colors, like over 10 years ago. We thought it would be funny. We were like, man, what if we just stream concerts and sit at home? just joking around, right? And like, stuff like that kind of has started happening over the years. And then, with the current, status of the world, it ended up becoming a reality, It's not like anybody can really go out and play right now. So Blake's been doing streams, playing drums, and I think it was his idea. He was just like, why don't we got a new practice space, and he planned on building that drum room, and he was like, why don't we just stream a show, do like a weekend of streams and just see if it works. And me and Paul plan these things now, and you can not that we'll run them direct live, but for that it worked out really, really well. Everyone was direct. Blake was in a drum room, had a cameraman. We had Courtney. Remember Courtney that toured with us forever? I brought him home with me, and he's usually out with Brothers Osborne, and he mixed the show. And it was awesome, man. We did like a little cover song for the sound check. And like I said, there was a ton of people. First night was a little nerve-wracking just because we hadn't played in forever, man.
Yeah.
And this stuff, it's like being a runner. And then, you stop training for a while, and then you just try to come right back to it. So we were all kind of trying to keep up. Luckily it comes back pretty fast, but we just had to get one under our belt. I definitely think we played better the second day, but it was awesome, man. Then doing the Q&As, and the third day, if I was a fan, I would have thought that was like crazy because we had the actual Pro Tools files, and we're able to solo parts like out and like kind of divulge secrets that even people that listen to the record forever didn't pick up, that like this riff from this song is repeated over here. Just all this weird thematic stuff, and isolating guitars, vocals, bass, drums, answering questions, talking shit to Paul, whatever. But it was a good time, man. Unbelievable feeling to be back with my guys, and
yeah,
I feel like I feel like that's a similar dynamic to sports. You know, when you're with your guys all the time, even if it's a bad performance, even if it's a great performance, you know, you're still picking at each other, sharing meals, sharing time together all the time. And, you know, it's been a while now, you know, so it was really nice to be back with them and be able to joke around and just play and feel normal for a second. You know what I mean? Well, even though that was it was a different context, you know, streaming, like there was nobody there watching, but still, you're still able to like perform with your people.
Yeah.
And just have that dynamic, you know, be in the group again and know that you're making people excited again. Just feel something other than like uncertainty and negative shit on the internet. You know what I mean? And the news and whatnot. It was to get back in your zone and just feel like, you know, obviously we're meant to be doing that. So it was nice to do it, even though it was different, you know?
It's team shit, man. I feel you when you say those words, man, because I miss that. I miss being in the locker room. I miss my boys, you know. You talk to everybody every now and then. Everybody has kids. Everybody's grown up. But, you know, whenever you talk, you always reminisce about the things you guys used to do, the plays you used to make, you know, playing off of one another. That one time where you were too heavy-handed and got, you know, you hit him, he hit you, you guys get up, you laugh, you know what I mean? You're trying to run back and do things. And, you know, for me, being here is cool at NFL Films doing this. It's a different team. It's a different mindset, but it's still not like getting your hands down in the dirt and, you know, just and it's all love, man. It's all love, man. And I'm an ultimate team guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people used to call me issue man when I played, because if I wasn't at home, I was at the facility. If I wasn't at the facility, I was, you know, with my boys at a park doing something, you know what I mean? Working on moves, stuff like that. And when it stops, man, it's just like, you know, silence like that is just too fucking loud, you know? And there's like nothing, you know, it's like, what do you do with that? And there's only so many times you can just try to go into like spaces where there are people so you can try to drown it out. But that shit doesn't work. You know, people used to be like, DC, why do you spend like all of your hours at fucking Best Buy playing Guitar Hero? You know what I mean? Like don't you like have a life? I'm like, and the sad thing about it is I used to always say like, man, like my life is football, but like, you know, I love all my brothers, man. I love being out there. I love being with them. And you know what I mean? When I played the game, I was single. So didn't have any kids, you know? So it's just like, it's that's what it is. It's just ball, it's your boys. And when it's over, you know, it sucks, man.
And you know, it depends on the person too, you know? That's one thing I always think about is, you know, every single person is different, you know. You know, I imagine it's the same in sports. You got the guy that's kind of the emotional one that carries things a little heavier. Then you got the people that can totally shut off and just turn into somebody else immediately. And, you know, there's so many different personalities with talent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's kind of either or sometimes people are just weirdos, you know what I mean? Because super talented people sometimes can have really weird things about them, right? You know?
Yep.
I'm Mr. Melancholy, you know what I mean?
We were just kind of having this conversation with Mark Holcomb from Periphery about there's a cost to dedicating yourself to a craft, you know, whether it's drumming or football or guitar, touring, you know, or doing it, you know, in a studio environment. You have to kind of put a certain order of things to get those results. And then there's cost to get that. There's no free lunch, you know, like you can't spend all your time in your room practicing to a metronome and also be smooth with the ladies when you're, you know, 15 or 16. Like it takes time, you know, and
I shoot to be the hybrid, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you sure are, you bastard. But Yeah, it's, watching you guys on the stream, I could tell, I watch I'm almost all of Blake's, streams when I can. And I see it in him. And I was saying like, man, you guys are really playing with not only passion to be performing, but I could tell there was passion between you guys playing with each other. And actually the Friday night stream, Daryl and I did the Everyman Podcast live on Twitch, Fridays, 8 p.m. Eastern. And we were about to go on. I was like, you know what, dude, let's go watch BT Bam for a little bit. And we were just like, I was like, it doesn't get much better than that, and it's just, it was cool. And I want to talk about the gear for a moment there. You pointed back there to your Kemper setup there. And, I know you've always been kind of on the cutting edge of gear, and I'm kind of I'm always interested in something new, especially with flashing lights. So what kind of new stuff were you using for the stream?
I guess it was like a few months ago, kind of when all this crazy shit started. I had a bunch of guitar player buddies just be like, man, you just need to check out the Kemper, like you've been on Axe-Fx for 10 years, just check it out. It doesn't matter what you play when you tour on it for that long, you're going to have your issues with it,
Sure.
And I'm a simple hands-on kind of guy, just dial some shit in. It sounds good. I don't make anything too complex. And this is, it's kind of like how Mac has an easy interface, right? So this is kind of like that. And everything you're playing is actually somebody went in the studio with whatever amp, whatever cab, recorded, they took like a digital screenshot of the sound and put it in this. So what you're playing is an actual profile of a real amplifier. So you can get online and be like, damn, I love that Prince tone from the Beautiful Ones. And somebody somewhere made that motherfucker, Yeah. So you can go and just download it right into this shit. And,
That's amazing.
It's, so the way I have it set up is right now, like when I'm at home, I have the left side running to this Seymour Duncan power amp going to a cab, Port City cab. So if I'm in my room and I want to like dial stuff in like I'm going to do live or just play, I have that. And then out of the right side, it's going into my interface. So I literally just turn the power amp off and I'm recording direct into the computer. So live for the stream, we just had 2 XLR right and left out into the board.
And you're done.
And it was just no sound coming out, only in the in-ears. So it's crazy, man. It's, it looks like a spaceship. It kind of is one.
You know me, I love my LEDs, man. You give me anything with blinking light.
You can change your colors and stuff.
Yeah,
just a little, me and you like the lighting,
Oh yeah. Well, dude, it's like, I remember back to like the first time I came across somebody with a pod back in the day, and I was like, it was like a pod 1.5 or something. And
it's big, like car keys.
Yeah, this big bean shaped piece of shit. And it's like, wow, this is cutting edge. Like it was like, this is the future. And then, this last year at NAMM, I checked out the Kempers, and I couldn't believe it. You're turning a dial and it's just like, you're changing the channel on the TV and going through all these different sounds.
$1,000 cheaper than like the competitors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
so are you not using the Axe-Fx at all anymore?
And no, I'm not. And no hatred. Fractal makes unbelievable stuff and they're unbelievable people. And they've always been super helpful to me. I just kind of tried this and preferred it.
Mm-hmm.
They both do very similar things, but the Fractal, it's just different, I don't know. I mean, I haven't done a tour with it yet. I just did the streams. I've been recording stuff and playing at home, and it sounds crazy, but feels good. It feels different. Feels like you're playing an amp. I mean, you essentially are,
Yeah.
So it's got that weight under your right hand. But yeah, I mean, there's a guy named Michael Britt out of Nashville. He used to be in that band Lone Star, I believe.
Okay.
Sorry if that's not the right band. I'm pretty sure it is, but
sounds familiar.
He he's a G, and he has several profile libraries of shit you would never get your hands on. Like, I've got two of his libraries, and I've got Keith Urban's like $90,000 Dumble amp, like straight up 90 grand for an amplifier. I've got the profile.
Keith Urban,
Eric
shreds,
Johnson's Plexi, vintage Princeton's, all the sick Marshalls, all the Cantrell amps from Bogner to Friedman.
So you can just like transfer those over on a flash drive or something.
Yeah, literally. I'm plugged in USB, and I just download them. And Dean DeLeo from STP, that like badass Demeter tube preamp he had, it's like super rare. I've got those profiles, and I mean anything. Like I said, I could be like, I like that Prince sound, or I like that a guitar tone from Thriller or some shit. Like somebody has made it. You know what I mean? Like you can have like the real thing. So.
Well, that's the new thing for every recording software is like ultimate flexibility. And like Matt Halpern was kind enough to hook me up with Get Good Drums. Shout out to Get Good. And if you guys are looking for drum programming, definitely check it out. It's amazing what you're able to get out of like a box of software nowadays, and it's only going to get better. And as new generations of musicians are growing up with access to all this stuff, it's going to really change the game. There's more and more 8-year-olds that can play like John Petrucci every day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding like 7-year-olds on YouTube that can outplay me. Shit is crazy.
Have you seen that? I don't know how I might have found him off of Tosin's Instagram. His name's like Danny Capelli or Danny Capelli or something. It's this like little boy. He's like 11 years old.
And he's the guy that's got the dreads and the top hat?
No, little white kid, brown hair, just unassuming boy. And this kid plays like Eric Johnson. It's unreal. It's the craziest.
Yeah, but dude, it's like that with everything, man. You know what I mean? There's like 8th graders dunking on people. You know what I mean? It's like there's just some shit in the milk or something nowadays, man. Like
dude.
I don't know what it is. Everything is just, I mean, a good buddy of mine, Sean, he's been hanging out with BT Bam Glass Casket since like 2002 or something, just total homie. And he's from like Miami area and used to work with all the top high school recruits, and now he works out at like USC. That's like his favorite college, so he's out there working with people. And he sends me pictures of kids that are like the size of a Tahoe. Yeah. I mean, like the biggest person you've ever seen. He's like, bro, this guy's 15. Like,
yeah. That shit's crazy, man. I see that shit every year at Combine, man. Every time I do it, I'm like, what the fuck are you eating? Like,
that's what blows me away, though. How can somebody be like 6'8", 390 and run like a 4'8"?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. It's ridiculous, man.
I mean, you're like a Viking. You know what I mean?
it's freaking.
I think it's like everybody's turned into like a LeBron James prototype. It's like everyone's going to be 6'8", 280, 4.4 speed, just super freaks. Like you're not going to be allowed to play pro sports unless you're 6'8", 280, shredded.
Yeah, I mean everybody's just getting bigger. I feel like even I love sports, man. But I feel like if you look at like classic NFL film, like one of the baddest dudes ever, Jack Lambert, he really wasn't that big.
No.
He was just mean as shit.
Mean as shit, bro. Mean as fucking shit, bro.
Didn't have teeth, just came to party. Didn't even wear a shirt to the game. It was just like
smoking cigarettes on the sidelines and shit.
It's gone. Hitting people, mushing them in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a different breed back then.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's when you could like swing on somebody like dead in the face, and it was just like, all right, boom, it's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta going backwards though, man. We got like watching The Last Dance. Like I was pumped because I'm not a basketball fan, but obviously at my age, I'm 35.
Who's not a fan of Jordan?
Growing up because of Jordan.
Oh yeah.
And watching that, going back, like I watch SportsCenter all the time, and you watch basketball, the season is so damn long. You're always watching highlights, and you've gotten used to the way it is nowadays. Whereas, like, you watch The Last Dance, and you're like, Dennis Rodman's like, I just wanted to go out there and get my fucking nose broke and feel something. And you're like, man, that is so physical. Like, these guys were, like, throwing each other around, and now, like, it's like soccer now. Like, somebody, like, stomps from you, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I don't understand.
Man. I know. And then my friends just tell me I don't get it, and I go, you're right. I don't get it. Don't get it. Yeah, I could watch, honestly, a whole series on Dennis Rodman. After watching The Last Dance, I was like,
there's a documentary on in my past the other day. I need to check it out.
What's it? Do you know what it's called?
I think it was just called Rodman.
Oh,
what a fucking guy!
Prime. I watched the George Foreman one the other night. Big George. Big boxing fan.
Hell yeah, bro.
There's a great
Tyson.
Oh, dude, Tyson was a fucking dog, bro. Get out there and just lay you out in like 20 seconds.
It's just like modern training footage is terrifying.
Oh, well, that fight got pushed back, him and Roy Jones.
I think it got pushed back because they were on they had the same day as Canelo, and he's the top dog nowadays. So they were probably like, look, Mike, love you. Grew up loving you, but
push it back.
We already got this day,
No, I'm definitely gonna order that fight. That's gonna be fun. UFC's doing Fight Island. Everybody's adapting, Yeah. Hopefully everybody, right? Big dog.
Boxing matches where at first they had no crowd noise, so it was awkward. It was just silence.
I like the UFC without the crowd noise. I think it's interesting because you hear them just beating the fuck out of each other.
Yeah, I mean, I like to hear the blows, but with I don't know, boxing's not quite as like, it's more of like a chess match than the UFC,
right.
Martial arts, so like the sweet science. I don't know. The last one I saw, they had some crowd noise, and like I'm glad they're doing it in baseball. Did you see the thing where they had like Weekend at Bernie's? They had Bernie as one of the cutouts at the baseball game.
Oh man,
just sitting back there like.
Yeah, but they're having fun with it. At least they're trying, and I hope everybody's able to, keep their season on track. And college football just is sort of falling apart. It looks like before it even starts. And then there's the big division. Then it's like, well, wait a minute. If they're not going to have a season, why can't they just forego this year of eligibility and just go right to the NFL, like a Trevor Lawrence type situation? Like, why can't, if there's not going to be football, why can't he just go pro?
Man, I feel bad for number one picks because, like, no disrespect to anyone that's a Bengals fan, but, like, to be the number one pick and go to a team that's just sorry.
Well, they show no desire to ever improve.
What's gonna happen though? Like, are you gonna be able to? I mean, you can't. A sick quarterback isn't gonna win a Super Bowl by himself.
No.
Andy Dalton was sick.
Yeah, and they put everything around him. They just
really ever get to do anything. I mean, like
they couldn't get past the Steelers or the Ravens. That was their problem. Because
Baker. I mean, he's got OBJ and there's talent there, but I mean, what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? Like,
I like Baker.
I feel like
as much as I can like a Browns player.
I mean,
other than Daryl.
Cam, we got Cam, and
dude, I can't believe that Cam Newton
right away or anything.
Dude,
I cannot believe that the Patriots were the only team that wanted to take a flyer on Cam Newton. It seems like it's fucking rigged.
Panthers didn't. Straight up.
I wanted the Steelers to sign him because Ben keeps getting hurt and he's getting old. Why not? Nope.
Yeah,
let's just let Bill Belichick get him. Like, I would sign him to keep him away from there. God.
Well, I hate the Patriots, but here's my thing. Like, Matt Rule is a sick college coach, and a college quarterback rushes a lot more than an NFL quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he would have came in and just been like, Cam, all right, you got 1 year to show me something. You're healthy now and you're pissed off. Run all over everybody.
PJ Walker. Let me tell you, man, I watched PJ Walker when he was playing for the XFL. He's tight. If he makes the team, if he makes the team, he's gonna play. I bet.
I tell him, you can run all over everybody, but don't fucking dip that shoulder, bro.
Yeah,
step that shit right out of bounds.
Yeah,
get your 20 or 30 and
whoop. Or just boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dip on everybody. But I'm telling you, man, he's gonna come out And when he's pissed and competitive and he's healthy, I hate the Patriots, and Bill Belichick's never had a rushing quarterback. Tom Brady's ass, I could probably run a faster 40. You know what I mean? So I'm having trouble seeing how that offense is going to play out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I have no reason not to believe Belichick's going to win with Cam. You know what I mean? He's
Dude.
At this point, I assume he's going to win until I've seen
What do you
otherwise.
think about the Bucks, though? You think Brady's going
I
to?
feel like Brady's gonna get his ass thrashed. That's
You
what I
think
feel
so?
like, bro. Yes.
Hey,
See,
Gronk, is he going to be able to put that weight back on, or is he just going to come out and be leaner?
dude, like
I think he's going to be pretty lean. I saw him not like a month ago, pictures of him. He wasn't that. I don't know how much bigger he can get in a month. You know.
I've seen Gronk in person, and it's not like his mass. It's just how big of a human being he is. He's basically a cyborg. Like let's say he's literally a cyborg. I believe he has 4 ACLs per knee because I've seen people go full speed in his at his knees and they bounce off like fucking like pieces of paper. It's stupid. Like people he doesn't feel pain. Like it's one of those guys, man. You know?
He gets off the field and just like shotguns a beer.
Bro, it's ridiculous, man.
I love Gronk. You know, I watched him thrash the Steelers many times, but I got to respect the guy. I mean, he's a fucking freak.
He's ready to have fun. You know, I don't think he.
Well, Tampa's a good spot for that if you're into Scientology and retirees.
I was early go to the Falcons.
Yeah. But think about maybe. We'll see.
What, the Falcons? They're one of those teams everybody's always picking to do everything, and they never do.
I don't like the new uniform with the ATL. I think that's kind of tacky looking.
I don't even think I've seen it. I think they should go back to the old ones that like Primetime were. Speaking of Primetime, I saw he's on Barstool now. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Big move. Big move. So before I forget, man, I wanted you to show us your signature model PRS. You were showing it to us beforehand, and we were talking about gear. And I know the BT Bam fam is definitely going to want to check this out. So, what can you tell us about that bad boy right there, man?
So it comes in 5 colors, but this is my personal favorite, the black top. It's like satin black with a nice natural back. The neck is also satin maple board, the black birds, cool knobs, black everything. Just, I don't know, like I've always had really nice, fancy figured tops, and PRS is, kind of famous for that. But for some reason, there's just something about just like the murdered out guitar that's just tough as nails looking, Yeah. And people love it. People like that one. I think it's the most popular one. But,
well, there's not a lot of maple neck or maple fretboard PRS, are there?
Not that I know of. I know that they may have done, the John Mayer, the Brett Mason, the guys that are like blues and country have maple boards, but they haven't put out like a maple board metal guitar ever. And not that it just does metal, but it's very versatile, very comfortable, and for the money, it's like getting it's American built. It's sick, man.
Made in Maryland, right?
Huh?
Maryland, right?
Yep. Stevensville, which is right there with Annapolis. Really nice area up there, actually. Great seafood.
Yeah, anytime I've been around NAMM with you, the PRS crew's always been super cool and fun to hang around with.
They're the best people, man.
Really, really great people. And I'm not just saying that because you're sitting here, but it's like I've been around a lot of different kinds of people like that, and sometimes people are just they're not real, and they're really shitty, And it's cool that great company, great product, great people. It's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about them, man. I'm just a dingus kid from North Carolina, a little small town, and they've gone above and beyond for me, man. Just all the respect in the world, all the love in the world. So I would be blessed to play their stuff as long as I get to play, man. You know?
Yep. I wanted to talk a little bit about just kind of some of the things you and I have done over the years that I was thinking back on, and kind of ties into what we were talking about earlier. And, you know, back when I was down in Winston-Salem with Extractus back in like Christmas of 2015, and we were recording our EP, and we were down there over Christmas, and it was like the first time I'd been away from home for like a major holiday or something like that. And my mom had sent down like all these cookies, and the boys had all like fallen asleep, and you and I were texting. It was real late, and I came over to your spot there at the time, and we were up like till like 4:30 in the morning talking about just music and just everything. We talked about everything. We were eating all these cookies, and we're watching guitar videos and shit. And one of the things you put on my radar early on in my kind of journey in music is this idea that like there's a real cost to doing it, and that it's not always not easy isn't even explain it. It's like it's almost always going to be a fight, and the thing that you're fighting for is like those moments where you can connect with your brothers in your band, and you connect with an audience, and you perform, and you like you said before, like you make people happy, you know, and that makes you happy, and you're doing all these things all day long to work towards this point, and then you have this humongous release of like energy that you've been storing and working up all day long or all week long or all month long. And like for me in my situation at that time, it was, you know, we had, by your suggestion, you know, I was going to go do a record with somebody else. I'm not going to say who. And you were like, hey, you know what, man, if you're going to do it and you're going to spend money, go to Jamie King. And I was like, yeah. And you're like, I'll hook it up. And next thing you know, I'm like, okay, we're doing this. We spent a year working towards it. So all my energy was focused towards this thing. Now here it is, you know, it's like, I might've even been Christmas, the day going into Christmas Eve or something. And I'm over at your house. It's like 4:00 in the morning, and we're eating cookies and we're talking about this. And that loneliness and kind of isolation that you experience as a result of having that big release of emotion or energy from a performance or from a tour or whatever, or traveling to record music that you've been working on really hard, really putting your focus on. It's something that the first time you experience it's like shakes you. And like the first time I had that experience, I had a panic attack. I had a legitimate panic attack. And it's not something I've ever talked about. And, you know, watching you guys perform the other night, I can see the joy. You know, we talked about that. I can see the passion and the love and the energy, not only for each other, but that you have for the music and for your craft and for the people that support you and that are there for you in that moment. And then there's the time after, and then there's that drive home, you know, and you and I talked a little bit about that. And how do you do it? How have you done it all these years? How do you feel about that? And what would you say, well, like, what do you think that is?
Again, like we were saying earlier, it depends on you as a person and like how you operate. I'm probably the emotional guy in the group, that things affect me. They always have. My whole life I've been like that. I'm just a real feely person, and overly passionate about stuff, about anything, about family, about love, about music, which is love, about my guys, which is love. And it's everything to me. I mean, everything. And, you know, and my guys all feel that way too. But, you know, also it depends on where you are in your life. Like Tommy's a father and a husband, and having to say goodbye to his little guy is tough, man. You know, even me saying goodbye to him, I only get to see him a few times a year. And I look at him like he's my nephew. So like that, I can only imagine how tough that is for him. And so when the tour gets over, he's probably like, oh, I miss you guys, love you. But he's ready to go be dad, right? Or, you know, maybe you're in a relationship and you can't wait to go see her or something, or whoever, you know. But for me, I've always felt my whole life I've just like dreamed of being able to do this, and I've been doing it so long with these guys that I've always had a pre-tour and a post-tour warm up, come down emotionally, right? And I put so much pressure on myself to be prepared before a tour that I end up in a weird headspace and kind of stressed out and anxious and just not comfortable until I get that first show done. And then I'm like, whew, I can breathe, right? And then, you know, you do the tour and you're having breakfast together, you're having coffee together, you're having dinner together, you're playing for all these people, and you're vulnerable just up there under lights with these people against everyone else, you know? So you have to come down together after the show. You eat some cereal, watch SportsCenter, whatever the hell you're doing. And after tour, for me, as always, it takes me a few days, man. Like, you know, like everybody gets in their cars and just disperses or gets dropped off at an airport or whatever. And to me, like whenever I've got to drive home now, which is like 6.5 hours. So I got all that time to think and say goodbye to my family that I briefly saw. And then I get home and you sit on the couch and it's like he was saying, it's loud, like nothing is happening. There's no sound, but like you can hear your heartbeat, you know, and you're overwhelmed with like me. I'm overwhelmed with kind of anxiety and kind of some sadness, man, you know, and it takes a few days to feel normal again, you know, like to not have a schedule. You know, we got this app on our phone called Master Tour, and it's got all the details for the day, times, how many bathrooms, you know, is there a shower, Dusty, you got to do this at this time or whatever. And then you get home and you ain't got shit to do. So you're kind of just like, well, what do I do? And now, being in a global pandemic, I've been sitting on my ass for months, just, you know, working out, playing guitar, watching TV, you know, whatever, just random, trying to figure out stuff to do. And there's nothing to do. So we get a little glimpse of our comfort and get to interact with fans, play some music and just feel normal and get that huge news from Blake and, you know, my brother of like 20 years. And then we just all took off back to nothing, you know? So, not to sound depressing or whatever, but it was real heavy for me, you know? It kind of like was a little heavier than I was expecting, you know? Like I just want to go on tour and play some music with my guys and make people feel good and perform and like, you know, he can, you know, all you guys, you with shows and you with football, you know, when you do a good job and your particular thing that people like about you and you're doing a good job at that, the energy you get off just like locking eyes with somebody and they're like, fuck yeah. You know what I mean? Like that shit is like 1,000,000 pounds of gold going in your bag. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like. And for it to just stop, boom, it's a really heavy thing, man. But like I said, it's not like that for everyone. I'm just kind of like I'm a real feely and like sentimental guy. And I need to see my dudes. You know what I mean? Like I gotta see them. I gotta talk to them. I need to, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes I need to, you know, go hug one of my dudes and just be like, how you doing, bastard? You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Oh, God.
You know?
Yep.
Dude, I'm gonna say something here because like I feel that because like and Brother Jay, you know this because when I come over, you know, and when we do our pods and we twitch up, dude, I'm a touchy feely hug. I'm a hugger, dude. Like
if Daryl wants to pick you up, you're going,
bro.
man.
Like it's like with like when you invited me over, like, you know, 4th of July, all of that, like, dude, it's like I didn't even. I came in and
he had about 14 Mountain Dews, by the way.
Like I had like 14 Mountain Dews, and like people that I was meeting for the first time, I'm just like scooping them up. Like it's just because it's something about like that energy, the tone, like and we need more of that. And then like this whole COVID thing, like, dude, I'm like, fuck COVID, bro. Just because like it took away the closeness, man. And sometimes like if you can't call your guys or if you don't see them, you know what I mean? Like you try to cope in other ways to get you close so you don't, you know, I don't know, man, like feel as much, right? But feel something, right? And then, you know, and without it, it's just like what are we doing? You know what I mean? And again, just to your point about like the going separate ways. Like like in a season you go 16 games, you know, and like if you and I used to want to like make it to the playoffs, not for like the sake of the team, but so like I knew like I had that much more time to be with my guys.
Absolutely.
Like people like DC, well, you guys are like I'm in Chicago in 2004, like we made it to the playoffs and we got eliminated first round to the Panthers, and like I was so bummed out, not because we got eliminated by the Panthers, but because like I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? Yeah. You know? Yep. I mean, maybe that's fucked up to say, but like that's just how I've always been built, man. Like, or like if it's like I used to count the number of games we had left in the season because I knew like, dude, we're getting so much closer to like I got to go back to just like being at home by myself and, you know, dealing with fucking chicks I knew didn't really fucking care about me. You know what I mean? Like it's, you know, like that type of shit. So I feel all of that, man. And, you know, that's why I love this podcast. That's why I love these moments like right now, because I've been in like NFL film since 4 a.m. and all day. Brother, we talk, me and Justin talk like all the time, like every day. We're talking about like how like our bosses are kicking us in the nuts like consummately all the time. But it helps like get through the day, or like I'm like, man, I can't wait till I go over to Justin's house and we could just fucking sit next to each other and just like shoot the shit and just like, you know, who do we got this week? Like who's in the Cosmic Canoe? Like the Cosmic Canoe isn't just like for just like some for a brand. Like you're in a Cosmic Canoe right now. And I'm like, yo, like I put it to you like this. Like sometimes like when we get done with pods or we get done with stuff like this, I'll be like, hey brother Zay, you think you could give me like Dustie's like, you know, cell phone number that way I can just call him and say what's up to him whenever, you know, just like
call me anytime, dude.
You know what I mean? Like,
you know, I will.
But that like that's just like how I am, because like I feel like, okay, now I got another friend, man. I got another homie. You know what I mean? Like it's just like
connections, like people you meet. That, you know, that's the thing about what you do and what I do is you're over socialized and you get used to it, and you get to meeting all these people that live all over the place.
I was just gonna say that,
and they mean something to you.
Yeah,
and you got these memories together and these relationships, and you know, and it's like NAMM. Yeah. You're there with all your best friends that play music, all of them.
Yeah.
And you're having a blast. You're drinking a beer. You're just telling jokes, cutting up, and it's the best feeling. And then you get on a plane, hungover as shit, and go home.
I know, like, it's so bad.
Listening to like Billie Eilish, and you're all sad and shit. And you're like, I don't know, man, like.
Well, dude, it's you know, like
it's a unique thing, you know.
Yeah, man.
I was thinking about that because I was kind of reflecting on some of the memories I can remember that weren't too foggy. You know, some of the like the times you and I've had and in different bars in different parts of the country, you know?
We're not alcoholics.
No, it's just that like it's like the only time I ever get drunk is when, you know, BT Bam's around and I'm going to go hang out with Dusty for a few hours. My fiance knows she's driving home that night, you know? And, you know, it's like, but my point is like, I've met so many wild individuals through you. And then I started thinking like, man, how many crazy characters has he met? And like, what's life like going from every day you walk around, you're meeting some, you know, it's a homeless guy with a parrot who smokes cigarettes, you know, in Tucson. And then, you know, the next day it's something else. Just that socialization has got to be, it's got to be tough, man.
Well, you know, like on a positive note, I've met so many people that I will literally never see again, ever, you know, and, you know, I met a guy in Poughkeepsie, New York, 2006, and I'm just walking around and he's a homeless guy, rough as hell looking, walks up to me and his name was Johnny Smoke. He was like, I'm Johnny Smoke. Showed me his tattoo, and he just got out of Attica for like 25 years.
Oh,
damn.
For murder because, you know, he says somebody did something crazy to his girl, and he retaliated and went to prison, and he had all these stories, and he was like, my back's all screwed up. I'm sleeping on this, you know, cardboard thing. I gave him like a back brace and made him like a sandwich and some water or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I can't remember too much of his life story, but it was fucking crazy. I mean, nuts.
Yeah.
You know? I met a woman in Melbourne, Australia, just some random old lady. And I was going through some crazy personal shit, was really down. And, you know, I grew up with my mom. So, and she's a real feely woman. So like when I'm sad and women talk to me, I was like older women, like that are like nurturing, it helps me. You know what I mean? Like just like a mother figure. Right. And,
hell yeah.
And, I remember she was just a stranger and she stopped and like, she was like, you look devastated. And she's like, I just want to tell you, my dad used to tell me when you get too overwhelmed and you just think you're never going to get out of it, just go put your feet in the sand. And that was all she said. And I was like, holy shit, it was so profound to me at that point, you know?
Yeah.
Like a total stranger coming up and just being like, it's going to be all right, man. You know, that was, I've had a million things like that. You know, I met a lady in Florida that had terminal cancer and like her kids brought her to the show and, you know, she had me bend down and was kissing me on the face and telling me all kinds of really nice things. And then I got to see her again at the next time we were there and she waited out there for me and I came and talked to her again. And there's stuff like that happens all the time. And that kind of stuff is always like super special to me. You know what I mean? Like just, I'm from the South where you walk into a gas station, you're going to have like a conversation with somebody you don't know. People just can be like,
getting your cheer wine.
Yeah, you can buy a pair of shoes. There's some grandma in there with her kid. He needs a new pair of shoes like he needs a hole in the head. You know, and you end up talking to each other, and it's totally normal where I'm from.
Yeah.
Dude, you know? when we were down there in Winston, we like the first day we were there, we went to the Walmart to get like supplies and shit because we were going to be there for 2 weeks. And we're walking around and this guy just comes up to us and just starts talking to us about this TV we're looking at. He's like, yep, that's pretty good model. I'm thinking about picking one up myself. And we're like, we all just like looked at him like, what? Like, cause we up here, we don't do that, especially in a Walmart. You don't talk to other people in a Walmart up here. Exactly. We're like, you fucking talking to me? You know, it was
told me this TV's better than mine over here.
Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, it's a whole different different beast. But, you know, I always say, you know, to people that ask me about you guys or whatever. And I mean, I've been with whether it's you or Blake or anybody from the group, like you can have a fucking piece of pizza in your mouth and somebody comes up to you on the street and like, oh my God, Dusty, and you give them the time of day and you talk to everybody. And like, I've never, even at NAMM, you know, or anywhere. You know, I've never seen or heard somebody be like, man, you know, and I think that that's part of why, you know, your fans are so drawn to you guys to support you when shit like this is going on. I'm watching, you know, people are tipping you guys, you know, to help keep the band going. And it was like a fucking waterfall. It was amazing, you know, and I'm not trying to like, it's not why you do it. Obviously that's not the only reason, but to see that just like,
it's appreciated like very much, you know, like
yeah.
It sounds cliche and stupid to say, but like, I love all of them. You know what I mean? Like I recognize people from every time we come around.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's that guy.
Yep.
Or, you know what I mean? Oh, that's the guy peed on that lady last time or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I remember faces and you know, just like me and you, I've become friends with a lot of people that originally just came to the show because they liked the band. And, you know, I was walking around doing some random shit and ended up having a conversation, and it happened the next time and the next time. And now, you know, we go get some food or whatever. That's just, that's a luxury of this, you know? It's I don't know. I mean, it's not something that, you know, like my mom isn't used to that or something, you know what I mean? But like, and not everyone is like that. You know what I mean? Some people really need their personal space and really need their time to like get into the zone. And I need that, you know, like before a show, I need my time to warm up and feel prepared. Like I can't ever go out on stage. There's people buying tickets. I can't go out on stage and not feel prepared. I would feel like I was disrespecting my guys and the fans. Mm-hmm. So I want to be dialed the fuck in before I go out. So I need my time. We clear everyone out of the backstage. I need my time before the show. And right after the show, like literally right when we get off, you know, we typically need a minute to come down from the adrenaline of playing that music. You know, it's intense music. And it's, you know, requires endurance, mental endurance too, you know. It's pretty wild, but yeah, man, I mean, I don't require that much alone time, you know. Like I'll sit there and shoot the shit with people working the door at venues, you know. And some, you know, like I said, not everybody are conversation people, you know. I'll be like, yeah, man, how you doing? Everything good? And people are like, yeah, things are good. And I'm like, all right, I'll go fuck myself. See you. Have a good day. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's just different, you know. But like I said, sometimes, you know, there's cities all over the world that there's like repeat encounters with the people that you've hung out with, and they become your friends and you keep in touch. And I mean, all over the world, man. So you end up missing that too. Yeah. You know, it's more, there's so much to it, you know? You know, I mean, shit, man, some days I wake up and when you're on tour and you're like in Europe in the wintertime and it's dark all the time, and like maybe you're in some vehicle that you're not sleeping good and you got to piss in a bottle or some bullshit, but like, you know, even as, you know, you're not getting any sleep or whatever, in a time like this, I find myself laying in the bed when I wake up or I'm about to go to sleep, my thoughts are racing and I'm like, damn, I miss waking up in Europe and walking to a coffee shop and getting like a croissant and just like looking at some castle and being like, damn, this shit's, you know,
that's
like,
awesome, man.
This building is older than my country. You know what I mean? Like, that kind of shit is cool, and it's weird. We all start to miss that kind of stuff, and I can't imagine living without that.
Yeah.
Without those people, without those experiences, without without those venues, man, I mean, shit, you know, like there's venues where I'm like, I'm always going to sit in that chair right there.
Yeah.
Gotta get out of my chair, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much to it, man. I kind of hyper analyze everything and try to absorb it all every time I'm there, so I can kind of live on it for a while, you know?
You got to, though. Like, you have to be present, man. At all. That's the biggest thing that like helps, you know, with situations where, like I said, it like I can tell we both are feely people, and I overanalyze. I know you do, but that's the best way to be, to stay present in the moment so you don't miss anything, right? And you know, that's at the end of the day, that's what matters. The moments matter because they add up. The people matter because they mean something to you. And that's what keeps you connected. You know, that's what helps to deal with silence or distance, or, you know, the onset of the high coming down, and then, you know, the pre before you go back up. You know what I mean? Staying in that moment, being present, and taking it all in, you know, within yourself, holding on to it, because that'll get you to the next moment, you know, so you can deal.
This is something that came later for me, though, man, because, you know, like I said, I'm 35 now, and I think me and Blake signed our first deal when we were 16, and I've been full-time pretty much since I was 18. So for a long time, I was just so focused on making it and like being able to play the shows at the size that I wanted to, and to like make the difference on the level that I dreamed of. And then, you know, shit happens in your life that's brutal and you fall apart. And there's a point in my life where I feel like I lost a few years. I was on autopilot, just crushed about some shit that's not a big deal now. But I look back and I'm like, man, there was a lot of real big shit happening for me then, and a lot of amazing tours and a lot of amazing shows and a lot of really important records and stuff that I feel I just feel like I hibernated through all that shit. And I'm like, damn, you wake up one day and you're like, how am I this old? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck happened? But, you know, like I said, man, like just being way more clear and present in life nowadays, and for how blessed we have been and I have been personally in my life to be just what I am, just a normal person. Didn't grow up with money or nothing like that. Just to be a normal kid, to have the opportunities to go to the Grammys, to play big shows, to have a fucking PRS guitar with my name on it. You know, like there's all this stuff that I've been so blessed to experience that now the least I can do is to absorb all this shit and try my best to be up here all the time. You know what I mean? Like I owe it to the universe for providing. Like I'm listening. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do my best no matter what. You know, I may not be the best, but I'm a damn sure try. You know.
Absolutely.
So
I feel that.
That's all you can do, man. You know, I feel like the greatest sin in the world is wasted talent, and you know, it's always a battle fighting life.
Yeah.
You know, life's always going to be throwing some shit at you. You know, banana peels like Mario Kart. You know, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
There goes a blue shell. There goes the power for 3 days. Yep.
I one of my team chaplains, Harold Swain, when he was in Baltimore, he used to say, DC, the one thing you got to do in this life is you You got to go through it, and don't die with buried treasure, bro. Nobody can pay for when you die with buried treasure. So always stay present, always stay purposeful, always be, intentional. So you can pay it forward to the next man for the things that you've been blessed with. So
Yep,
I
like
feel
they
that all
say,
day.
only a fool trips on what's behind him, I heard. You know what I mean? So it's just like focus on being better. Don't focus on shit you maybe didn't do right or mistakes you made. Like at the end of the day, the person thinking about that bullshit the most is you.
Yeah.
And that's a faucet, like a little quote from Yellowstone, my
Mm-hmm.
jam. That's a faucet you can cut off at any point.
Yeah.
And the old guy said it's tough business becoming a man, And in my world, you can prolong growing up for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
You can hide.
I live in Nashville. There's people out there fucking partying, and they're like in their mid 40s. There's people in their 50s still partying, drinking margaritas, just looking rough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's very easy to not grow up in this business. So, like I said, man, I just you gotta. It's a happy medium. Have fun, but be responsible and try and be respectful to your opportunity. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
When I was sick, my mom used to tell me all the time that your pendulum can only swing so far into the negative before it has to kind of come back the other way. And I think this conversation that we're having here is really shining a light on how that affects kind of the three of us in all our different, different paths, but they on that shared journey that we call the Cosmic Canoe, and those downtimes that we talked about earlier are outweighed. You'll take those up. You'll do it for those up times, for all those beautiful things along the way that you experience.
They inspire the up times. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And you can't appreciate, and not to sound like a fucking fortune cookie here, but you can't appreciate like the really good stuff if you don't have those down moments,
But the thing is like when they tell you all these like little witty sayings and shit, at the time you're always like, well, thank you, Dr. Phil.
Right.
Holy shit. Excellent, sir. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't, you're just like,
I should confront
Jesus
my problems
Christ.
head on. Yes. Thank you.
Like, wow, the rest of my day is great now, Jim. Appreciate that. Fucking A. But again, once you're out of the shitstorm, you look back and you're like, damn, there's really no other way to say that.
Right.
It's true.
Yep.
I mean, damn. I think, and it's all about growing up though, man. Like, growth, boundaries and stuff. Like, eventually, if you follow directions and you're not a dumbass, eventually all that stuff that used to weigh you down, it doesn't affect you anymore. You grew.
Yeah.
You look back and you're like, damn, I wish I would have handled that differently. But same time, maybe I wouldn't be here without that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you really do kind of have to get a little slice of humble pie before you can come back up and, get the glow up as the young people say.
That's what the kids say. Well, I think I think that's what we're all in the middle of, brother. And whether it's you and the BT Band boys or, we just had a couple guys on from Periphery, even John Petrucci, the mighty John Petrucci from Dream Theater, we're all kind of experiencing this lull, this moment of without what the things we love. And, we are going to get them back, and it is coming. And when it does, I think we're all going to be better for it. And I think people are really going to appreciate the shows, and I bet you there'll be a huge increase in a lot of different.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be starving for for entertainment, man. Like I know, you know, tours will be great. Things will be really, really good, but it's more than that. You know what I mean? It's, you know, that's all just like personal shit that I want.
Yeah.
But I hope, my hope is that when we all come out of this, that people are more grateful for the little comforts that they have. And they also are just nicer to each other, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Christ. It's 2020, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on.
It's so easy to be, easy to be mean when you're, you know, behind a screen. And a perfect example is some of the different comments that I've gotten over the course of doing the podcast and having guests on like yourself that have, you know, a social following, and majority of people are cool. You know, 98% of the people are cool, but then there's like these 2%ers that like sneak in there, and they just it occupies like 99% of my brain at the moment. And then in a given moment at that time, you know, and that's like a struggle to work past that. And I agree. I think people should be nicer, but I think the result of this is a lot more people are going to be getting used to talking shit on the internet without repercussion. And then that's going to just like, I don't want to be cynical, but I just hope that people don't get used to living this remote lifestyle, because it's going to be like WALL-E, you know, when all those people get all humongous and on those little fucking floater robot car things. Like that could be where we're headed if we don't all, you know, stay moving. So, yeah, man, it's coming. Yeah.
I mean, you know, like social media, like I didn't grow up with the internet. I didn't grow up with social media, and it's become such a tool for what I do and, you know, what you guys are doing. And, it's an imaginary world, you know what I mean? And, shit, it's a lot of, you know, I feel bad for kids because, like, you know, it's an imaginary world and everything is so fucking unrealistic. You know what I mean? Like
so manicured.
Yeah. Everybody worships this technology god in their hands, and it's all fake. You're not paying attention to the world, the actual world you're living in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And humanity has suffered because of that shit. Respect has suffered because of that shit. You know, accountability has suffered because of that shit. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if I'll ever have a kid, but if I do, my goal would be to produce people that actually contribute to the well-being of the world. You know what I mean? People that can benefit someone else's life, that are kind, that, you know, that just aren't shitheads, that actually have a clue, that have gotten a glimpse of the real world, you know? Especially being from where I'm from, it's very easy to just be living in this little bubble of Facebook, and, you know, they don't realize that there's some guy in his shit-stained underwear in his grandma's basement creating these clickbait articles that aren't true. And his job is to do that so you guys will fight with each other. Yeah. So you don't see what's going on over there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's just it's an odd time, dude. It's a fucking odd time. And you know, one thing about our fans is they're all such sweet people, and they, you know, between the Bear to Me Facebook group, like we have a subreddit, and people are just really nice to each other, and they share, they become friends, they keep in touch, they share their collections, they share videos and pictures and stories, and they just chat, and they're sweet people, you know? And I think that's why we all need this, because with all the distortion and shit out there, all the static, there's still something pure right in front of you that you can kind of lose yourself in. And sports is like that for me too, man. I'm like a huge sports fan. I grew up playing sports. I just stopped growing and was way better at guitar than I was sports. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I grew up with Chris Paul, man. He's my claim to fame for
That is pretty crazy Didn't you play like little league basketball with him or something?
No, we played Pop Warner football. We went to the National Super Bowl in '95, and Dan Marino, he was like the announcer for our game.
Sweet dude. Sweet.
He was the best player on the team. He was like the tailback and quarterback, and then we get to high school, and in 9th grade, he's dunking on people at like 5'8", and I was like, "Wait, you play basketball?" And he was sick. And then he went to Wake for 2 years, just dunking on fools. And his era of college basketball was money. I mean, it was Raymond Felton, Sean May, Julius Hodge, what's that guy? Sheldon Williams. I mean, there was just a lot of J.J. Redick. What's your boy's name from Georgia Tech? Jarrett Jack. There was just like a bunch of high-profile college players.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually paid attention. And then he went to the NBA, and he's been like super solid ever since then. He's given back to our high school, he actually, through our 10-year reunion, got to see him again. And
that's pretty cool.
I'm
hell yeah,
so proud of the guy he turned out to be, man. Like, hell of an athlete, left his mark. Real classy family. His parents were always very sweet to me because, my mom was a single mom with bringing me to all these places. They'd always have us come and eat with them and stuff, and just killer family, man.
Sweet.
Killer
Dude.
people, killer guy. And it's just cool to, shit, man. I couldn't hit a free throw if my life depended on it, but it's cool
yeah, no guy that good at something.
it's cool to see like a guy where you're from that's just done it big.
Yeah, really on a global level. That's really cool. Yeah, well, before I forget, man, you were talking about the subreddit, and I got to say, every time, whether we just had Tommy on the pod a couple weeks ago, every time we've had these conversations with you guys, the support and the love we get from the subreddit is amazing. And specifically, I want to thank Papa Crip. He's the moderator there. He runs the show, and Papa Crip's the man. He takes no shit, and he's part of the reason. Well, no, it's the reason I'm saying this is the way they run things over there. And there's a couple other moderators, but they reflect kind of you guys, the energy you give out. And I always say it every time, I have a chance, you guys are a special group of guys together. It's like the fucking Voltron coming together,
Oh yeah, dude. When I see you guys, blazing sword.
When I see you guys perform, and dude, me, man, like, I guess like you'll ask me like, hey, how'd that sound? And I'll tell you what I think it sounded like. And it's because, I'm going to give you an honest opinion. I always tell you the truth. And I'll be like, maybe this was maybe this was loud. I don't know, whatever. But I mean, I've seen you guys play from literally the Unitarian church basement in Philly all the way up to, PlayStation Theater and just all over the place. And watching you guys like that on Twitch the other night, man, I can't wait to see what you guys have on stage when you finally get back on stage. And I know everybody's really looking forward to that. And
we're gonna be hungry, that's for sure, man.
I know you will be, brother. I know you will be. And I'm sure you guys are cooking something good up, and I know people are going to be all over me. But the way I look at it is you guys answered a bunch of fan questions. You took everybody's questions all weekend, and you guys kind of covered anything that would have come out, I think. So, as far as new music and what your plans are. So check that out if you're looking for that. But Dusty, man, this has been a really awesome conversation. And I think it's an important one to have so that people can kind of see what the other side of the coin is like. It's not always, it's not always cherry pie. And
yeah. And like I said, just I would just encourage everyone to always consider that everyone's different. And, I know I've had conversations with fans that are like, man, I work a job that bums me out. There's not much to do here. And I listen to you guys all the time. And I've been looking forward to this show for 6 months. And when that show's over, they probably feel the same way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a bum out when you football season starts and you watching football all day on Sunday, and the last game ends, and you're like, damn, I wish I could watch some more football, you know, or like there's not, I don't know, the game's blacked out, the night game or something, you know, it's or anything, like, you know, whatever your interest is, whether it's sports or music or shit, anything, you know, we all have an emotional attachment to it in some way, and sports are also suffering. Everything is suffering right now, and I just really, really, really hope that this is all taken care of sooner than later, and that we don't have to do a bunch of bullshit that's just not necessary.
I'm not wearing any goggles. I'll tell you that right now.
I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be happy and have equal opportunity, and for people to have respect for one another, and, you know, for people to just learn a fucking lesson from this and be better, do better. You know, we're all in this shit together.
Hell yeah, bro.
You know,
I know what, I'll tell you one thing, when all this shit is clear, like masks off and vaccines are in and shit like that, I'm hugging the shit out of everybody, bro.
Yeah, man.
Everybody's getting it, bro. I don't know you. You can fucking hug, bro. It's over.
Come on, fucking hug you. Yeah.
Get over here, dude.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Running across the parking lot.
Like, Dusty, wow. Fucking, oh, I got him. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man. Next time you guys, it's a shame because Daryl was prepared and ready to go for that last show that was going to be in May when you guys were going to come through, and his first BT
before we do, so it's still going to happen.
Oh, I know it will.
So whenever it happens, me and you're eating cheese.
Yeah. Dude, wait till you see this boy eat. Wait till you see me,
bro.
Dusty, my brother, love you, man. Thank you for coming on the show with us, man. And
thanks, bro.
We'll catch you around. We'll catch you soon, brother.